Okay, this is Orlando Wilson. And what I want to talk about in this video, I want to talk about a couple of incidents that's happened in Europe in the past 24, 48 hours. First of all, there was an incident in France where some armed criminals attacked a prisoner escort, and some criminal boss was freed. He was on a prison transfer, and his gang members come and got him. Killed two French police officers, unfortunately. That's one. Two, yesterday there was the Slovakian Prime Minister was shot. Somebody, I'm sure if you look on social media, all these videos are out there. He was finished doing some event, went up to greet the crowd, somebody put 5 rounds into him. Okay, this is Europe. And Europe should be a little bit tamer than most places. But as most people can see that's willing to open their eyes and see things, Europe is changing. I've mentioned this in other videos about organized crime, etc. And the people I deal with, the honest people I deal with, they've all acknowledged this. We acknowledged it a long time ago. Europe's changing for the worst, and there's going to be a lot more problems. Okay. If we look at the first incident, okay, let's talk about the weapons in Europe. People think there's no guns in Europe. There's plenty of guns in Europe. Just the criminals have not really used them because it's not really a European thing. Now, you have drugs gangs trying to imitate the Mexican cartels, etc., etc., etc. So, this is mainly in Western Europe. So again, you're going to see a rise in crime. And it's a matter of time before all these guys and girls, all these little gangsters, they'll influence what they see on the TV, they influence what they see happening in Mexico. They want to be badasses as well. They want to be narcos. Now, as far as the weapons are concerned, there's going to be an influx of weapons coming from Ukraine. And when Ukraine collapses, when Ukraine implodes, there's going to be a lot more weapons. I know there's how many of you people that are in denial that Ukraine is not going to implode, Ukraine's winning the war, or this stuff. You know what, if you want to believe that fucking propaganda, believe it. Just off topic. Everything myself and my associates have been saying from the beginning is happening. Corruption, failures, etc. It's a grinder. But people don't want to see what's happening in Ukraine. Why? Because so many people have told so many lies. So much money's been wasted. So much money's been laundered that a lot of people are in denial now, especially the politicians, because how are they going to justify all their lies to the people in their countries? I think there's going to be a lot of supposed analysts out of business. Because again, there's so many analysts, military analysts, etc., have been doing nothing as well but lying about the situation in Ukraine. And I spoke to one guy and he's like, well, we have to follow the propaganda, we have to follow the narrative, or else we're out of jobs. Okay, these are analysts that should be giving neutral opinions, not following the propaganda because they're scared of losing their jobs. Anyway, back on topic. In addition to the influx of weapons that's going to be coming in, that's here, you're also going to have how many guys and girls that their country's just collapsed, so they need to make money. What are they going to do? Well, usually what happens, disgruntled soldiers usually turn to crime. So you're going to have an influx of criminals, more criminals. Trained and armed and experienced. Now, you look at that incident in France. If you take a little look at that, okay, did those criminals have military experience, military training? I would say somewhere, yes. If not, they knew a little bit about what they're doing, and it doesn't take much. A little bit, maybe basic weapon skills, a little bit of tactical skills, and I'd say yes, they had some experience. Now, another thing people are in denial about. A lot of these immigrants coming into Europe and US, a lot of these immigrants are coming from countries where, be it Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Ethiopia, Somalia, Libya, they're coming from countries that are at war. I would say, without a doubt, and I know for a fact, so I bumped into a few people, a few immigrants that all have military experience. They may not be up to disciplined military experience of Western militaries, regular militaries, but they served in militia, they served in armed forces in their own countries. So you have an abundance of fit young guys with military experience and access to weapons and no money. So what's going to happen? You're going to have more crime. So Europe can expect more crime on that level. If you look what happened in Slovakia, apparently the shooter was not happy at the government, etc. His feelings were hurt. As the economies struggle, as the economies start to contract, and people have financial problems, and people have problems, and everything else, you're going to get more crime, especially of the type we saw in with the Slovakian Prime Minister. Why? Because people need somebody to blame. So if you look at how many people are becoming more and more disgruntled with their politicians and how much division there is, I think on the, you know what, I've got no time for the extreme left or the extreme right. To me, I've got no time for extremists, period. But the trouble is, these extremists, when they have access to firearms, to weapons, they end up doing stupid shit. So I would say, 1, you have the weapons coming into Europe. 2, there's a lot of former military guys and girls that need to earn money, so they're going to be turning to crime if not already in crime. And once they see they can start to get away with things more, and the police forces are not prepared, even though they think they're prepared, they're not prepared to deal with paramilitary groups. They're trained to deal with crime. And a lot of what you're going to be seeing is paramilitary type organizations springing up and committing crimes. Combine that with a very fragmented and divided general population, I would say you're going to end up getting a lot more problems, political problems in Europe. So combine the organized crime with the political problems, Europe's going to be in for a rough time. But again, all this has been predicted by how many people have been in denial for a long time. So all I can say is, everything I've been saying for a long time, everything the people I've been dealing with have been saying for a long time, is coming to fruition. If you're in Europe, I would say get ready for an upsurge in criminal activity and also an upsurge in political problems. But that's just my opinion. So in the meantime, follow me along on social media. I got a lot more of these videos up. I prefer LinkedIn and X, but we do have stuff up on YouTube and Instagram. And don't forget, I've got an array of books up on Amazon to talk about various aspects of the security business, crime fiction, etc., etc. And as always, be good, stay safe, stay out of trouble.